looks like a feather star.
This is another one of the crinoids. We saw the thalassometrids, I think we identified from before.
You know, have these ever been collected? Because thalassometrids will not swim.
I don't know.
We could get a corallium, a dominant species, in addition to this crinoid if we're in a position, possibly.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
What do you think? I'll throw it out to the group here.
We have a crinoid expert, Chuck Messing, who's always watching when he can. And I know that just about all of the crinoids from this area are poorly known. So this one, it's possible we've not collected it before. So
I don't think we ever have, and we've seen it. And it may swim. I don't know what it's going to do. I didn't think that. I didn't think that. Syrianthid, that one, the huge Syrianthid would swim when we tried to grab it.
Well, this one's definitely a case where swimming is it links to the morphology of the animal, because the way that the arms are articulated has a lot to do with the flexibility and the ability to swim. So.
Yeah, you know, as they're setting up and imaging this beautiful crinoid, I just see we got a message from Ken Sulak regarding terminology on rat tails, and I'll read that in a moment because I think it's going to be of general interest. But we'll go ahead and focus first on grabbing this guy.
Yeah, and I'm still holding out hope that that white patch on the background is might be something interesting.
Can I do a full zoom?
Pilots.
All right, so we have a completely different crew up there right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Hi, watch leads. Quick pilot change for the front row. So my pilot told me that there was interest of sampling.
Yeah, so what we're going to try to do, pilot, is to grab this crinoid that we're zoomed in on right now, but also a nice chunk of the coral it's sitting on. These are one of these brittle corallid corals, so expect it to crumble a bit. But I think that the actual crinoid, this feather star we're looking at, is the main target if possible. And
Copy.
It'd be great if we could get both in one grab.
Will this swim?
We're not sure. I don't think we've ever tried to collect it before.
Okay.
So,
moving, and also
how about if you might expect it to swim?
Expect to swim.
Got a
Copy
geo.
that.
Yeah. Geo.
That's it.
Okay.
2
rocks. Sounds good. You're spun up for hydraulics.
Great.
And are we moving with the ship at all?
Let's see what he grabs
was
first,
in.
and we'll.
That should be about done.
Okay. I'll rotate you to keep in view then.
Copy.
As necessary, but you want me to bring up a different camera?
I'm hoping he doesn't swim because it may be harder for him to unravel his prehensile.
Minis used to be nice.
It looks like it's
Sure.
It's unattached to the coral.
Video, come on.
Yeah, he's attached right there. He's got a.
Yeah, but they're kind of up on one leg, so to speak.
Video's full wide.
I have a bad feeling he's going to try to swim.
Move complete. Thank you, Rich.
See what happens. Yeah. John doesn't want us to be demolition man, so we'll do our best, John. These guys are tricky.
Not yet. We'll do it after the sample.
To get both of them are the crinoid and the coral are both tricky.
Where do you want your minis? Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Point it down then. Can we zoom in?
Do you need to? I'm fine.
Yeah, no, that's
zoom in,
fine. I'd like to look
on the
at
Zeus
this
first. A little more. That's good. And now mini Zeus, please.
Stand by.
Yeah, copy.
Here we go. Moment of truth. Hold your breath. So we're going to try to collect this feather star because so far
Is that good,
we
pilot?
do have it in the online guide,
a
but
little
we
more
have a
resistance,
guess
please.
on what family it is. We've never collected this before, and we can't go past family.
That's
It's
good, thank you.
very likely going to be an undescribed species, so we're going to have a try at it.
Is port box ready?
Port box, yeah, it's ready to go. It's not extended yet.
Yeah, copy. Alright, let's go for it.
Oh, he's not swimming. He's not swimming. Hasn't taken off yet.
That's a funny interaction.
It's looking swimmy.
Yeah, Washington, what do you think about this? Do you still want me to...
Maybe just try to grab the crinoid first. Or I think your approach is good coming down on it.
Yeah, so hopefully I can scoop it.
Yeah.
But if he's actively swimming,
Yeah.
it might not be a pretty collection.
Right. Let's try for it. I think this guy is important enough
Copy
to
that.
just try.
Well, at the very least, we'll learn if these can swim.
Yeah. Ah,
Got
you
him.
got him. He isn't swimming.
Interesting.
The prehensile
Ready for
cirri.
George to come out?
Yeah, video. I'm going to skip...
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
that's
skip
fine.
the close imagery on him
So,
because he may swim any second.
I don't think so. We've got
Okay,
him pretty
fully open?
tight in that.
can you tilt Mini Zeus down?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, there you go. Better?
Awesome, thank you.
I'll get ready to close it.
Just going to import inboard. Excuse me? Yeah, because we coral with it too.
Tell me when you're cleared, and
And
I'll
he may
close.
swim when you let him go.
All right, close it.
He's going to sit there. Fantastic. Thank you, pilot.
Wow, that was easier
great.
than I thought.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
So, excuse me. Yeah, that's 2 eyes and coralliity. Yep. Great, and that's good enough for now.
All right, arms
Thanks
on.
a lot, Nicola. It's Nicola Rodriguez sitting next to me.
Hydraulic secure.
Basically doing a fantastic job annotating and recording everything.
All right, yeah, you can take your camera back for...
Yep.
As soon as you can.
You're off to my
Yeah.
port here. I can turn around. I have you in my fisheye.
All right, Chris, now to make the day complete, we need a sea star.
You're not.
It could-
I'm not disagreeing with you.
It could be Echino Day, because we've had coral and sponge day. We haven't had Echino
I was
Day.
running about
We
20.
even see an urchin today. No, we came
Oh,
close
yeah,
to
we
being
missed it,
to
yeah.
get to grabbing
So
a
what's,
sea
Yeah.
what actually happened?
Fluctuates.
Just okay, that's what I saw. Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Copy. All right. Gilbert, you're looking.
I'm looking
south?
at south right
you
now.
guys are going to
All right, so we were
turn.
going
go like 245 or something.
245. Yeah.
I'll follow you around.
There's a sea star.
A weird,
center
skinny
left.
little vase there.
Oh.
Should we be able to do a snap zoom on that sponge pilot right in the center?
Do you want sea star or sponge first?
Oh, is there a sea star?
Yes, video found.
Where?
Oh, it's right in front of us.
Oh, jeez. I
I didn't see it
neither
either.
did I. I was looking at the sponge.
So was I.
Yeah, let's see the sea star first.
All right, video coming on sea star.
Ooh,
Is that this thing that we were seeing the other day, or is it something
I'm
different?
not sure. Let's see. So smooth. We're at a depth of
Copy that.
Yeah.
Ship
Let's
stoked,
go.
right?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Is that a
Let's collect it,
copy?
please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not passing these up anymore.
So you have any idea? It's a Gunny asteroid, right?
Yeah, it's a goniasterid, but
So, would you like to put this on the starboard just because?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, in
the
case
thing
that-
about it that's so weird is that
But now we have two
abactinal
swimmers, right? Or
plates
does this
aren't
guy swim
tabulate. I think they're
I don't
flat.
think he will.
Oh, the actinal plates aren't tabulate. I should have known that.
The abactinal
The
plates.
abactinal.
Jeez.
What on earth
Don't-
are you talking about? You want to explain that?
You're the one that's always going on in microscleres.
I know. I just,
So all I'm trying to say is that the plates that make up the top surface of the animal, and these are what we use to diagnose them.
You're spun up, pilot.
They, in this instance, they look relatively flat
Feel
as
free to,
opposed to
bring up your mini.
covered or elongate with certain superficial details like granules. And the other thing that's distinctive is the fact that it has such long arms. And I'm getting ready to explain all of this to the operations meeting. But the fact that the arms are elongate and they don't have, there's a particular pattern where sometimes the plates at the edge of the arm sort of join along the middle, and so that's not something we see here. So I'm thinking this is probably something that at the very least I'd like to look at more closely. Might be something that I don't recognize as an established genus. So that's the nice thing about goniasteres is sometimes they're really well known, and sometimes you go straight for the jugular and get a new genus and species out of it. So we'll see.
It's a hard collection.
Gunny asteroid. We're going to go to just the family here for now.
It's going to be very hard. It's going to be tough.
It'd be IA.
Difficult.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Gunny asteroidi. IDAE. I'm sorry, not 2 R's. Great, thank you. But let's see if he gets it first, because this is going to be a little tricky in amongst those little mounds there. So what is that, about 10 centimeters? Arm tip to arm tip, maybe?
A little less than that, I think. That's a decent size.
So you said I'm spun up?
You're spun up.
So in the meantime, Ken Sulak has left us an interesting cultural note about the proper terminology for fishes. We recently saw a quote-unquote rat-tailed fish. He says, I would note that macorids, the family of the fish we were just looking at, during the OE missions have generally been referred to as rat-tails. Actually, the name rat-tail is a non-formal vernacular name. The American Fisheries Society Common Names Bible uses grenadier. If forming accepted official common names for many, accepted common names for many macorids, the name comes from the conical hat that identified 17th century European soldiers used that specialized European soldiers used in the use of grenades. Many macorid genera like Macorus, Coelorhynchus, and Trachyrhynchus have sharply pointed snouts, hence the reference.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Ken.
It's just very small. Coming at me? Is that what you said?
So I'm going to try to use grenadier more often. I think I got rat tail on the brain, but I'll see if I can quit. Grenadier is a cooler common name anyway, you got to admit. for the helmet of grenade soldiers.
Oh, I think as I'd mentioned before, the names I thought were applied during different retail campaigns. So I kind of like the name Rat Tail, but either way works.
Back.
Yeah, this is a little tricky scooping him because of those little bulbous.
Yeah, sorry, he's a small depression.
Yeah.
Just a second, try to get in there.
Looks. He's almost. You did that just to tease Chris, didn't you? Okay, now he's going to go for it.
Thanks.
Sorry. He didn't, of course. You know, that him doing that just brings up an interesting issue with ROVs, and that's you have 2D vision, you don't have 3D vision. You use the different cameras, and you have to create in your brain a 3D space, which... is not always easy to do because you don't have any depth perception. So you have to develop it mentally.
The agility used in
let me look at this. This is spectacular.
Is astonishing.
Yeah, that's great, Levi. What an excellent job.
Open box.
Woohoo! Wow.
Oh, sorry, Sean. Excuse me. It was Sean.
I'll find out that that's a predator of those hexacoralia that we have in there with the crinoid or something.
I wasn't going to say anything because it's such a good sample. Okay, with my name associated with this.
Yes.
There he goes. He's in the box. Thank you, Sean. That's terrific. Yes, starboard inward. Yep, that's it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Clear?
Yeah, clear.
Woohoo! Starfish! Doing the starfish dance.
All right, arms off.
All right, we got the two.
Still want to look at that sponge, Chris?
Hydraulic secured.
Huh?
You still want to look at the sponge?
Yes, you can look at sponge.
Snap zoom, no problem.
Well, this is Bruce. I have a question for Chris Ma, since Chris Kelly was talking about the common names for some of the fishes. In recent years, some of us have used sea star instead of starfish, and I know it's just a fussy thing, but Chris, can you comment upon sea star versus starfish?
Yes, it's a classic old
we can do snap
trope.
So,
just to be clear to everyone, starfish and sea star are common names for the same thing, for any organism in the class Asteroidea. Sea star and starfish really aren't used for brittle stars, just to be clear. Of course.
So this is a really unique sponge, as it turns out. This is going to be a standard old Regadrella. You see the polyps coming out of the side of it? So this looks like it could be something like Lefroyella again, but with the ridges. I think it is Lefroyella, but with a different morphology than I've seen before. A really skinny, tubular thing. But yeah, another example. We're seeing two different types of sponges here that have commensal cnidarians with them, but very different. You see how big these are compared to the other commensal cnidarians. But this is terrific. I thought there was going to be a same old Regadrella, and it's a Lefroyella. I'm pretty certain with the ridging. Thank you very much, pilot. And sorry to interrupt, Chris.
Oh no, that's fine.
All right, Sad, so you're happy with this one?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right, video, whenever you're ready.
can we just get a specimen view?
Absolutely.
Lovely. Thank you.
Okay, so what?
Oh,
Sea star,
right.
starfish.
So let's just make it one thing very clear, that sea stars and starfish are essentially synonyms for the same group of animals, asteroids, the members in the class Asteroidea.
How does 220 sound for a move?
These,
that direction, not quite yet, but
there isn't really any difference other than a lot of semantic argumentation between people who think starfish has to be applied because they don't look like fish.
Sure.
But it's sort of an etymological leftover from Old English, which called anything in the ocean a fish. So they even called... Wow, what was that?
Anyway,
It's
we
a
could get
salp,
this
I think.
Yeah, video.
That purple and red thing in the
Yeah,
water?
in the water column.
Is it a salp?
it's possible jellyfish.
Yeah.
Wow. No, that's a...
No, it's a
That's a
jelly.
jelly.
Look at that jelly. That
Wow.
looks like the one that made the highlights in the Northwest Hawaiian Islands. That gorgeous, beautiful jelly.
Wow.
He's right now.
Oh,
Very
my
close
goodness,
to
that is beautiful.
Video, I'm gonna try to.
I love how
back
it's just sort of that translucent...
Thank you,
green.
pilot.
What did we call that thing? Mike Ford,
starboard
are you
side.
in there still?
you're far enough
He's
from
not
it.
in
Just
there.
don't go over there.
Yeah. I just see that.
You're a couple meters, but
Some type of hydromedusa of some kind, right?
I'm
Yeah, I
so
think so.
alive.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of backing up as it comes.
you're the good now.
Oh, wow, this dive just keeps getting better.
Wow. What's that up? Is that are those crabs up in the upper right hand?
Well,
It's up
there's...
my brow.
I don't know
Oh
about
no,
that.
they're crinoids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
these are those.
crinoids. And,
Video, thanks. I think that's all we got though.
yeah, so the cralium is not petered out. There's
Yeah.
a little ledge on top of the summit.
So just to finish the thought, again, back to sea stars and starfish. Sorry. Yeah, so they're common names for the same kind of animal, not
Yeah,
brittle
he's
stars.
lined up on it, I think.
But the
I
semantics
can
gets
follow you
back
right
to
over there. I'm
the
not
old
quite
word of fish, which used to reply to anything that sort of crawled along the ground or
This.
that lived in the ocean rather. But it turns out, so you can argue either way: starfish, not fish; sea star, not necessarily a star, since stars are burning balls of hydrogen. Or you could argue that not all sea stars are actually star-shaped, because a lot of them are not. Some of them are perfectly round. Some of them are essentially they have 50 arms, and so they aren't perfectly pentagonal. And then there's people that are just sort of old-fashioned, and they still like the word starfish. It has a nice visceral ring to it. I'll dispel one myth,
ahead.
which is that sea star was somehow some politically correct thing that took off in the 90s. It's not. It's been around for a while because a lot of Western European languages use the word sea star when you translate them. Trois de mer, and other, like that was French.
Yeah, no, I think we're ready.
Estrella de Mar, Spanish,
I'll do 20
star of
meters
the
or
sea.
30.
And in fact, sea star is actually the
20. It's fine.
the original word usage of the word
30,
sea star
I don't
is
see
actually for an astronomic term used by sailors to detect stars in the sea, not to animals. So, long story short, there are two words for the same animal. I use the term asteroids. I use the term sea star for people who might not necessarily know that they're not fish. I use starfish around my colleagues. As long as you don't use them for brittle stars,
meters,
I'm fine with either one. There are lots of other translations in other languages. Hitode, the Japanese word for sea star, means palm, which makes a lot of sense also. And so there's lots of different possibilities. But someone is always a stickler, and I know lots of people who've studied starfish all their lives get furious with me for using the word starfish the way I just did. So sorry, but it's one of those things that will probably never go away. I know, because people seem to. I'll be discussing some important issue, and people will suddenly interject. You mean sea star, right? And
Yeah,
I'll
any
like,
suggestions?
yes. And in the meantime, the world just
They
ended
are
or something.
sitting
So
inside right
anyway,
now.
that's my take on it.
Is it the crab jaw reflection?
He says when they're
So
mostly
we're
day,
in
so
some
down-
massive lava flows here. They look like
Thank you,
gigantic
Rich.
pillow lava flows or
Did you
something.
say most of the
I
day, or
don't
did
know
you say
what
the
we're
last
seeing
hour?
geologically
Most
here.
of the day.
John Smith, I know you're in your office and you have the audio on, you said. We're putting out the bat signal for John Smith, or the geo signal maybe. I don't know what you want to call it.
The basaltic magma
and,
signal.
And if Jonathan Tree is hiding out there and looking too.
I have the waypoint
What are
selected so you guys
what
can
are we
see,
looking at? Is that a sea
I think
cucumber?
that's
down
another
there?
sea cucumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same type we've been seeing.
Okay.
Any interest on sea cucumber?
No, we can move on.
What was the target depth?
Thank you.
So big rounded flows here that
wait, that's the
certainly look
waypoint, not your
like
target, not-
massive.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
they're
called
not,
in a 30
they're
meter
not
move.
pillows. They're like
Bearing
sofas. These are
220.
like
Starting to get
what
out
you
there.
want to call these things.
We're gonna
There's
do
a red little small
that
thing
track.
pilot right coming into center now.
Yeah, coming from left.
I think this is the first Anthomastus that we've recorded today, isn't it?
Let's see.
Video.
It does have a very Anthomastus-like appearance. Oh, yes.
Yes, it is. So we do have Tina Molitsova in the event log at least. And Tina, if you're active in the event log, we could use a hand here.
Still happy with the bailout
She's,
at 090? Go back.
Participating from the Shirshov Institute in Moscow.
Yeah, looks good to me.
Put a jar now. Yeah, just confirming bailout 090. Thanks, Rich.
So for those who might be familiar with this particular frequently encountered coral that we run into, this is a soft coral, often called a mushroom coral. You'll note that sort of looking right onto us are the polyps, the feeding polyps, and there are 8 tentacles present around a central mouth. And each one of those little polyps sort of directs food to the central body, which is that mushroom-shaped structure that is attached to the bottom. We know these are octocorals because they have 8 arms present around the mouth. These are what's called soft corals. They don't have the really well-developed skeleton that others do, but they're widespread and quite interesting to look
Video's
at.
happy when science is happy.
Copy that. Science, are you happy with this?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
All right, video, come on.
Hoping that Tina's on a delay and she can see this thing. But she may be busy right at the moment. She'll see the pictures afterward anyway. Tina Molitsova happens to specialize in those particular cnidarians as well as some other types, including the black corals, which we have not seen at all today. Not one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which
I keep on forgetting that. That's strange.
Yeah.
No Antipatherians at all.
There are funny communities on some of these seamounts we're seeing in Johnston.
It's always interesting to me how some of the sea stars always occur essentially anecdotally. We haven't, other than those 2 that we saw at the outset, we really, they were really large, but we really haven't seen any more of them. You'd think they'd be sort of crawling all over these things, feeding on them.
Yeah, and Pilot, you see that kind of bent over colony in the front back? It's a little bit above the lasers to the left. It's sort of in the back there on that ledge. That could be a black coral.
Is it
Keep going above the lasers now.
dead center but back?
Dead center in the back, yeah.
Copy that. I'll make my way.
It may not be, it's going to be a corallium. I'm looking too hard for black corals. We could go on. I'm sorry,
Copy.
I'm mistaken.
No, it's all right.
There's more of these Anthomastus. See them down there? A little.
Looks like we've entered yet another transition. We're still looking at are these hemicorallium?
Yeah, these are all hemicorallium. So we went from hemicorallium then to primnoids, hemicorallium, primnoids, hemicorallium.
Yeah, but these are smaller. They seem less grandiose. And then we have Anthomastus, which we haven't seen before today.
So John Smith responded on the geology. He did heed the geo signal that went up and reflected off the clouds. And he said that they were indeed massive lava formations. Hard to tell more unless we got a wider view. But that's probably what we're seeing here. This big, huge mound is a massive flow feature. Those other ones are really cool because they're sort of tubular.
Tubular, man.
Tubular.
video, you see quick.
Yeah,
Wow.
let's see what the shrimp is. I always get my plesiopenea. This looks like the sort. This is Benthysimus. I've forgotten. What we need is Megan Putz there in my lab there next to John Smith to,
Thanks.
if she were to see that shrimp video, to call in and tell us what species of shrimp that was. It's not a prod here, but she cleared it up for us about a month or two ago because we were having trouble with our new version of the Animal Guide, which we're trying to get ready to post.
I don't see much. There's
Figuring out some of these shrimp.
Besides some depressions.
There's a fish about center now, about a few
Meanwhile,
feet
try to
above the
take a
lasers.
look at the pictures.
Ooh. Alright, video.
Oh,
Come
here's a
on in.
fish.
I'm calling
I
another
think.
move.
Where is it?
Very,
Bridge RV now.
whatever that was.
Wow.
That's our video.
Yeah, ready for
Oh,
the
okay.
same as
Wow,
last.
He's jumping.
There's a fish.
Slippery one, yeah.
Bearing 220 degrees, speed 0.2 knots.
They all,
My suspicion is that could have been another halosaur, although we didn't really get a good look at it. But from the way it swam and its body shape, that's my best guess, is a halosaur.
a halosaur. Oh,
Yeah.
neat.
Thanks, Bruce. That shrimp could have been Plesiopenaeus, I guess.
Direction we're still moving?
220.
220 copy.
He's still at 220, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Man, I cannot
Move
remember.
initiated. Thank you, Bridge.
Megan was trying to teach me a little bit about the difference in the shrimps. Mary's tried over the years and she's given up, and then Megan was giving it a go. And it's just gone from my memory how you tell some of these shrimps apart.
Well, Chris, you can't remember all of it, and you've been trying to.
Oh, wait. I've got it. Aha, okay, hang on. I'm closing in. So it has to do with the rostral spine length. So next time we see one of those shrimp, I'm going to remember this.
Go ahead, Bridge.
The Aristeus has a really short rostral spine,
Sounds good.
and Plesiopenaeus has got a much longer one. All right, we're going to remember that next time.
I'll be sure to let you know about it when we see one.
So these are different crinoids, by the way, on these corallium. I don't know if we want to get a look at one of these.
I think we
time.
saw these earlier, but yeah, let's take a
That
quick
might
zoom
circle
on
in soon. I'll give you some more.
the crinoids here. These are, I'm not sure which ones they were, but they were quite large, I remember. And I think they had relatively few arms.
Could you be those? Could
These
you be
yellow
the
ones?
Glyptometra, the Chiritometrids that you can see by the cirri? Yeah, he's got the big thick cirri, so it's not the thalassometrid.
Right. Well, the thalassometrids, I know, just the color difference was fairly striking. These are sort of your sort of a straw yellow color,
Yeah.
but some of them got quite large.
That's a partial.
Copy.
So Amy Bacco Taylor, and I've collected some of these, and so did Amy Bacco Taylor off of Necker Ridge. I collected them in the Northwest Hawaiian Islands.
Oh.
And Chuck identified them both as Glyptometra lateralis, if it's the same thing.
Yeah. Notice on
That's
the one
Maxim.
in the background, there are snails on the arms. If you, we can pan over.
Oh,
yeah,
the
you can
white
see
things?
Yeah, the white things that are on the arms there. And so these are what's called eulimid snails, snails in the family Eulimidae, and they're parasites. They have a proboscis, which they kind of, like a straw, they take their proboscis and they suck out the juices. They're kind of like vampiric.
Sorry.
If crinoids had blood, they have something else, I guess, water. And then they just live off of them as parasites.
I'd like to make a point here. Those are two different species of crinoids. Look at the Siri on the one on the right. It's prehensile, and the one on the left it is not. They're two different species that look very close together. You could zoom in real quick on the feet on each of those. I think you'll see what I'm talking about. The one on the right. It's down below, just the video could pan just a little bit below and over to the left. Right there. Look at that. So those are prehensile.
Chris.
Yeah.
This is Megan Putz.
Hi, Megan. Can you stand by for one moment here? We're going to get at a crinoid question, and then I'd like to ask you about those shrimp.
Okay.
This could be
John was just saying.
Yeah, this could be Thalassometra. And then see these? This one on the left here. See the difference in the feet?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Sure they are.
I don't know.
They are.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I know, but it's not as clear to me as the difference as, say, the other one.
You wait. Chuck's going to come in tomorrow, and he's going to say their difference.
Okay.
Right.
I look forward to hearing it. But
Thank you,
in the meantime...
Well, aren't the Siri and the Thalassometrids, they're more prehensile?
What's that? Yeah, they're more prehensile, right?
The Siri on the Thalassometrids are more prehensile. So I think you have one Split-Symetra and one Thalassometra.
Yeah, see.
All right.
Okay, of course, Chris Ma here next to me is kind of an echinoderm specialist, but
I'm just, well, that's the problem. Is
I don't know.
Crinoids are hard. I'm just saying. I think I'm not doubting that those differences are true. I guess I would just like to see for myself what that means exactly, and to examine them later. So. Anyway, shrimp.
Right. So the reason I asked Megan to call in too is because you're going to be hearing her voice a lot next cruise to the musicians. So she is going to be one of the onboard scientists. So I figure they better get familiar with your voice already, Megan. Can you tell us about shrimp?
All right. Well, the thing with the shrimp is the Aristeids, they tend to have a longer rostrum. That's that front spine that comes out of their nose. And that rostrum can have at least 3 or 4 teeth on it, whereas the Bathycissimids have a shorter rostrum that have no more than 3 spines. Also, the Bathycissimids, they tend to also have this big groove in the side of their body carapace that can be pretty distinct, where the Aristeids don't have that.
Megan, thank you very much. And Megan did her master's degree on coral communities. She had this fascinating study off of the Big Island of Hawaii that she just submitted for publication, and it involved using lava flows as disruptors of the community and how fast the community responds after a lava flow underwater wiped out a precious coral community.
Wow.
Really cool stuff, and I'm going to let her tell her story when she's out here on musicians. But thank you very much, Megan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Chris.
And thank you again, Megan.
See you back in the office.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Right, bye.
Where?
Right in the middle of the screen right now.
The shrimp right there.
Shrimp coming astern there.
And so she
do
hung
they
up
want
and
the
the shrimp
shrimp?
appears.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, but we're going to tag this one.
I see.
This is a benthic shrimp.
Sorry. Yeah, video. Come on now.
It's them.
Sorry, it took me a while to see.
And he's backing up. This is another heterocarpus. So we've got a bunch of images of these guys already.
Copy that. So just keep going, Washits.
Yeah, we could go ahead on.
Copy
Thank
that.
you.
Video come wide when you're ready.
Has a nice overlapping second thoracic flap there. Nice Caridian. So a lot of shrimps are what's called Caridian shrimps, and they're usually identified by having a large overlapping flap on the second thoracic, or is it thoracic? Yeah, it's the second thoracic segment. That one has a very nice one. You can see it right from the video image. Wow, this is lovely. I love these little sand oases or whatever they are, pools.
With the little bed forms in there, so there's enough current coming over here to actually create those ripples.
Go ahead, watch lead. Looks like ROV.
That's hemicorallium, isn't it?
Just over
yeah.
like,
Okay.
about 500 meters dive track so far. Yeah.
Have we seen this crinoid on the right?
Heading complete. Thank you
This
very
almost
much.
reminds me of a riverbed.
Washi, it's interest on crinoid?
Sure.
Where is he? Oh, okay, there he is.
Video, come on out.
Is this like what we collected?
Yeah. The sort of purple dark coloration with the yellow cirri, and especially on a corallid.
Copy, so you're happy with that, Washi?
Yeah. We can move on. Yeah.
Right. Copy that. Video whenever you're happy.
It's going to be a great specimen, this one right here.
Give me just a second.
Yep.
Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to be
All right,
handling it.
video
You got a
going
sea
wide.
star to deal with.
All right, Nav, what's ship status?
It's
I'll help, I
station.
guess.
I'll move in if you're ready.
Yeah, we'll let you
think
handle
so.
the echinoderms.
It's not like
I'm going to do the rocks.
It's not like I collected a slime star, one of those poisonous
Yes.
sea urchins or anything.
It's true.
With that.
Yeah.
You got a nice little channel here.
Ready to RV nav?
You're not really picking anything out.
Yeah, we'd like a ship move.
So I think you can get an idea of the thickness of the crust here. See these little layers? That could be just broken off crust. You know, so it's... I think that's what we're seeing.
Copy.
You know, so it's pretty thick here on the summit. And we figured this is a pretty old seamount.
Oh, have we reached the summit?
Yeah, we're kind of on the summit area. You can see by the contour lines.
Ah,
We're getting
okay.
a little bit of the... I mean, we're not quite on it, but we're pretty close. Navigation just confirmed that we've covered about 500 meters already, which is pretty amazing when you consider how vertical the terrain was early on. That's so we're doing really well here. We got 2 rocks. We got our biologics.
We even got a starfish.
And we got lots of close-ups.
I'm happy.
Oh. Nothing big on that boulder, is there, pilot? Sort of in the background there? Kind of looks like something's
Looks
on
like
it.
something's, yeah, it looks like it's got a bunch of growth on
We're
it.
moving that way, but we don't have the tether quite yet to get there.
Okay.
That's right where we're going now.
Great.
So in a couple minutes, we'll take a peek over there.
I always like to look out for tracks in the sand. You never know what kinds of interesting things are living there. These are just current ripples, I guess.
Yeah, but you're right. Oftentimes you can get those curly-Q tracks from...
Yeah. Sometimes there's even sea stars that are buried underneath there. And you can see them under star-shaped burrows.
So there's the lasers that I think this is mostly crust, but there could be some lava sheet flows here.
Doing a quick
There's some
zoom?
yeah, just for the heck of it, because it's kind of a...
Zoom on the edge there.
Yeah, I don't know whether John Smith would agree or not, but the thickness of this little ledge here is about 10 centimeters. That's a pretty thick crust if it's all crust. But you can see how botryoidal the texture is, which is meaning very bubbly.
It's interesting how that term also gets applied to tunicates. Some of them are considered botryoidal, the same shape. I love that. It's a nice word, botryoidal.
It is. It's a really, really interesting word.
Looks like we got some nice little sponges or something. Little dome-shaped white spots on the botryoidal texture.
Yeah, so we're
sponges, I'm guessing.
We're taking advantage of waiting for the ship to get caught up to us and zooming on a little bit of the small stuff here in this little pocket.
All right, video, come out. I think that's good.
So, pilot, I think that rock was a little more to the left, or is this it right here that's coming up?
The one in the back.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, it's that. It's right back.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Looked like they're all corallium. A nice little stand up on the top of it.
Got 10 meters left to move.
Copy.
The ship does, that is.
Okay, that should be
Do you
good.
know the other thing that's been pretty much missing today?
It's pretty close enough, I think.
What has been missing today, Chris?
Well, I think we've been completely bamboozled.
Oh, yes. No bamboo coral.
No. Just had one. Was that early on? In the beginning, yeah. So.
One of these days I'm going to feed, if there's another new bamboo eating, a new starfish that eats bamboo coral, I'm going to name it after a panda.
After what?
After a panda.
A panda? Actually, that's good. That's
just
clever.
like,
I like that.
Sort
That's
of a
good.
delayed response, yes.
No, I haven't pondered it. You got to explain why you said that, because some people might not have gotten it.
Oh, so that's a good point. So, as a sea star biologist, specifically as a taxonomist, I actually name new species. That's one of my superpowers, and so you can come up with names in a variety of ways. Oftentimes, they name animals after sort of descriptive terms, and sometimes they're direct morphology. So if they have spines, they might call them spinosa. If they're beautiful, they might call them elegans. But sometimes we find them feeding on other organisms, and behavior becomes the basis for naming a new species. So I saw one sea star once climbing up into the branches of a black coral, and I called it Bathyperennia ascendens for climbing. And so if we were to find another sea star that fed on a bamboo coral, I just thought it would be funny to name a sea star after a panda, because pandas eat bamboo. And so sort of invertebrates taking after their vertebrate analogs. If that ever happened, and we found another coral-eating sea star, which you never know, is probably just inevitable. Wow, look at this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little boulder here with corallium.
But even behind it, the massive lava flow with all of these layerings.
Layerings, yeah.
Looks like ship's in position, pilots.
Yeah, look at that.
What the schist are we looking at? It's a geological term, schist.
I know. Okay.
You're just taking me for granted by now.
Oh, jeez. No, don't encourage him. Nicola, please. You'll just. All right, so we've got some more corallium. I'm looking in the event log, and Ken Sulak's got some more comments on naming of macrurids and macrurids in general, and he's pointing out that there are not very many of these grenadiers that are abundant enough or large enough and shallow enough for commercial fisheries. So he's mentioned a couple that are in the North Atlantic and Australia, the roughead grenadier and the blue grenadier of Australia.
Okay.
So and they're all called grenadiers. And so
maybe get around this rock and then
that does it from this day forth. I'm not going to call another one of those a rat tail unless I slip up.
See what this is. It doesn't look too bad though.
I can follow you over if you want.
Yeah, thank you, Ken, for all of this information. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do we got? No, it's nothing. What did you call this the other night in the dive summary report? A sediment pond?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, so you can put it in
kind of a cool term.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that before.
Good to go.
I'm not sure if I made it up or if it was something left over from my geology days.
Yeah. Either way, I like it.
Yeah.
Bridge RV nav.
I love how they just kind of meet the current ripples just meander in such a even way throughout.
Bridge RV nav.
John's, you look in the event like John's letting you have it for your puns, by the way.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, ready for
yes,
move
John. I should clarify for my geological listeners, schist is a metamorphic rock term, and granite is terrestrial. Yes.
And they're not here.
And they're not here. Yes, fine.
Good copy.
Busted. Anyway. So is that what is that? It's just a rock, sorry, shadow. And more corallium.
I was at least in the right ballpark. They're not sedimentary terms, they're metamorphic and igneous terms, which is, what the kinds of rocks we're looking at. So
Watch leads, you have 1 hour left on bottom.
1 hour left on bottom. 60 minutes of exciting adventure remains in tonight's dive.
Move initiated. Thank you, Bridge.
Let's take a look at that sponge over in the upper top part of the screen. If that is...
copy that. Towards the center?
Yes, sir.
You got it. Video, come on in.
Oh, this is neat. This looks to me like this is a glass sponge. I think this is in the family Euplectellidae. These are sponges made entirely out of silicon dioxide. Their skeletons have the same essential properties as fiber optic cable. It looks like there might actually be... Oh, I think this is the type that have sea anemones living in them, or zoanthids, the way that the others, or is this? Are these might have so these little needles that are coming off of the surface. I think these are actually just the glass skeletal elements projecting out of the body. There are sponges like this in shallower water, but you can see the patterns are very intricate, and they form a sort of a remarkable lattice work that they use their bodies as sort of filters in order to process the water current for food. That's lovely, thank you. So you plectellid, I guess.
You're
right?
happy with that science?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You're happy with
Yes, please. We can move on. Thank you.
Copy. All right, video whenever you're happy.
All right, let me just get a specimen view.
Yep.
Yeah, I just made it back in, took a short break. Yeah, now this is what I thought that other vase sponge was going to be like. So this is in euplectellid, correct?
Did you have a genus?
Yeah, well, this is always a little confusing. I'd probably go Regadrella on this
Regadrella.
one.
Okay.
All right.
The other
Video's
possibility is
All right.
Dictyalis. And there's Corbatella and some others. Can't really see the attachment, but euplectellid base is fine.
So I don't remember if you caught that just before you left. They told us that we have about an hour bottom time left.
Yep,
Okay.
I heard that. Thank
Okay,
you.
very good.
All right, so those of you who've been following this dive all along, we have very different topography than we saw earlier. We were on a sheer wall with all types of pinnacles and spires and everything else, still all volcanic, and now we're into closer to the top on a flatter area. It looks like it has a lot of manganese crusting, possibly some sheet flows or some type of different volcanic feature. The crallium are still here. They are on that vertical wall, and they're in quite abundant on these, and also on these little spires, but they're also on this flatter rocky substrate too, so they're not that restricted by topography as long as it's hard, I guess, and there's adequate current flow over it. That's what all these pink ones are. Any of you who are new to the Okeanos dives, those two red dots are lasers. They are 10 centimeters apart. We just keep reminding folks about that so they'll know what size the animals are that we're seeing. We have a crinoid over here, but it's probably the same one we collected, huh? One more of these?
Huh, I don't know. It's got an interesting color pattern, but yeah, I think it is actually. Probably, if it has the yellow cirri.
Do a quick zoom to confirm?
Let's do a snap zoom.
Snap zoom video.
Does it have the yellow cirri on it? What is it? What do his feet look like? Does he have white socks?
Nope.
Yeah,
Yellow.
they're yellow. Okay, they're yellow socks. Okay.
That's that.
Yeah.
Yellow socks.
That's sorry.
Right. Come wide.
Video coming wide.
We're talking about underneath all those arms, the way it holds onto the coral, they're called cirri, and they're yellow, and so those arms are black and the cirri are yellow, very distinctive color pattern, and we were able to get one of these earlier on, and there's a chance we'll figure out what it is.
Figure out what species that is.
Yeah. That's still a crallium pilot, that kind of bushy colony over there to the left, upper left.
Upslope to the left?
Yeah, upslope to the left. I don't know if...
Take a look.
It looks different to me.
The larger one?
Yeah, the larger one. Maybe it's just the lighting. It's going to be a bigger crallium. Sorry, false alarm.
That's all right.
I wonder if we could zoom in on that round kind of lava formation down there. Is that possible? It looks like a broken end of a pillow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the one right next to it with angular face almost looks like dike rock.
Video, come on in.
Wow, look at that. The broken end of a pillow formation. Oh, this is what